I did see something. I saw a line of cars on a highway, and they were all stopped in traffic, and it was raining. So I was inside, the perspective was inside of a car in the passenger seat. And I could see this line of cars kind of going around the highway, and all of them were stopped. You can see the red lights, the brake lights on all the cars. And that was on one side. On the other side, the cars were coming freely, you know, spaced out. There was no traffic, there was nothing. And when I looked over in the driver's seat, I saw Ben, and he was in good, I guess in good spirits. He didn't want to be in that position though. He didn't want to be waiting in this line, and he wanted to get out. But he didn't want to be on the other side going the other way where there was no traffic. So I very clearly saw just sort of the way that he was behaving, and he wasn't like antsy, but he was sort of excited and like joyful in a way. And so he kind of backed up out of this position, but he didn't back out and go around these cars. He didn't turn and go the other way. He actually, on the side of the mountain, turned his car towards the mountain and began to go up the mountain. So he started to drive up this mountain, but it was a mountain full of trees. So he couldn't just go. So he drove up a little ways up the mountain, and then he got out of the car and sort of, you know, when you get out of the car, you kind of put your arm on the door, and he stood there for a minute, and then he, you know, got all the way out of the car. There was a tree directly in front of him, and out of the ground, out of the earth, a toolbox kind of unearthed itself. And he opened the toolbox, like he knew exactly what it was for, what he was doing there, and he lifted the top part, because toolboxes have like the top part, and then you kind of grab in there. Anyway, he lifted out this item, and what it looked like to me was a what you use in the fireplace to stoke the fire, the long black iron rod poker. And obviously it has a purpose and a use for fire to continue to, you know,
stoke the flames.
Yeah. But he didn't use it in the way the tool was meant to be used. He actually flipped it around. Like if you spun a bottle and it would go round and round, he spun it, and it began to go so fast that it became like a saw, and was able to saw the tree in half to where it was just a stump there. But obviously you cannot continue to drive over a stump. But the stump, it ended up, at first it was definitely in the ground with its roots into the ground, but once he cut off the tree, the ground changed to sand, black sand, so that it could just basically be removed. And at this point, I saw a syringe full of liquid, and it was a like a, I don't know what it's called, like a serum or like a
What is a syringe to begin?
Needle.
needle with liquid inside of
Medicine.
it.
Needle?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that you use it to administer some of the
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's like a. It's
Oh,
to
make a shot.
administer.
Okay.
So after this point, I saw him with this syringe, and he, you know, flipped it or whatever. How you showed me it was a syringe, and the water came out, or it wasn't water. It was. Well, the reason I know is because next a snake came and bit his arm. But he already was given the, what is that called? Like, thank you, jeez Louise.
What?
The antidote. He
Antidote.
already had the antidote before the snake even showed up. So he had the means to administer what was needed for the poison before the enemy, and it was the enemy that showed up.
It's also called anti-venom, I think, for a snake bite.
Yeah. It was already there, ready to be administered, and he did administer it. And there was no change in his content, or content, whatever his
Countenance.
Thank you, good lord. Countenance. Being attacked by the enemy. He was prepared. He did what needed to be done to counteract what had happened. And then I just have the, you know, the feeling, not the feeling, the
Impression.
mindset that he continues forward
Oh,
after
okay.
that.
On the car?
Yeah, in the car.
Okay.
He's able to remove obstacles because he has the tools to do so.
Hmm. So what do you think the highway in this light stands for? The mountain then from forest turn to be almost like land or whatever, you know, so the terrain change, you know, what the impression you have there, Nicole?
When it changed from being a highway to the mountain?
Yeah.
Or when it changed the...
Yeah, there must maybe you have some
Oh.
direct intuitive impression what that meant, you know, so, yeah.
No. I mean, it just what seems obvious to me, which is just the way. I mean, he was obviously going one way.
Mm.
Was not able to move forward or get to where he needed to be going that way. And there was another way, that was clear, but it was still not the way. And the way up the mountain, which is constantly the Lord is showing us the way that we should go, is not easy. And
Are you on the? He's on the driver's seat. I mean,
Yeah.
you were on the passenger seat. Okay,
yeah, it
so-
might have just been my point of view. I didn't see myself from here.
Yeah, yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a Norwegian for bang obviously. So.
Might be, but I also do believe that, I know Justin had a vision that I was in.
Oh yeah.
And I do think that in many
Yes.
ways, I think it's possible that a vision with me as a character may also refer to the Sun Company because of my name.
Oh, Benjamin, the right hand. Yeah, the son of right hand. Yeah, yeah. Very possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure, I'm just saying that. I think
Yeah. It simplifies something, right? So, yeah, a generation.